The people in charge of the crypto community and the XRP community seem to be wrong about each other. The Black Swan Capitalist brothers and Beyond Broke argue back and forth about XRP. Could gold be used to pay for it? We'll talk about what's going on, and I'll also give you David Schwartz's 10 biggest XRP myths, what you need to know. Let's get it. In other words, setting the record straight. Jay Claver is really broke. I want to answer straight to what you said in your last video about how gold backs up XRP. That was something my brother and I said. As you said, when you talked about us the second time, even though you didn't say our names, it was clear. So I believe it is fair that we make it clear and correct for the record. To begin with, neither of us has ever said or claimed that XRP could be linked to gold. Even so, we have thought about it, but that's not what we've said in the past, either in public or otherwise. We looked into and made guesses, just like a lot of other people in the space, including people you work with, about some ideas that were popular at the time. Ripple CTO David Schwartz first talked about XRP and said it was like digital cash that could be sent anywhere. When people talked about XRP's role at the central bank level and cross-border payments, this comparison stuck out. What we said, though, was based on the study we did. That way of thinking made sense. We even said that XRP would be connected to a stable coin on the XRP record if they came out. This is true whether the stable coin is tied to gold, other commodities, or fiat currencies. The goal of XRP is to make it easy for these tokens to trade with each other. This means that it's not backed by gold, but the value of it depends on the assets that are sold on the chain. At that point, there's a structural link between XRP and the other real-world assets that are made public on the XRP record. We've talked a lot about this. Technically, this is not only possible, but also very likely. This is especially true since XRP is constantly changing into a platform for stablecoins and tokenized things. XRP is meant to be a go-back coin. If you think about it, XRP is like a bridge asset. It is in the middle of a bigger network of tokenized value that includes gold and other goods. This makes it known and gives it structural revolving without having direct support. To make my point, we are a small group of people who didn't just accept everything that was said. To be honest, we changed our minds in public when new information about what we had written came to light. We also kept up with changes in technology at the institutional level. We made it very clear in a lot of blog posts, films, and live chats with real people. They say that XRP will not be linked to gold. It is clear that stablecoins will go to, and that is important on its own. We think that everything we do and say is based on facts, not ideas. It's not about opinions, as I said before. It's about facts and truth. The World Bank put out a report called MDES and Digital Currency in 2021. We were the first to write on it. In this study, Ripple and Stellar infrastructure were named as parts of a stablecoin model that was meant to help economies and markets in emerging countries stay stable. Even that study talked about using gold peg stable coins instead of XRP to keep their value or make money more secure in places where currencies change a lot. We didn't think of that. That information comes from documents that the IMF and the World Bank have made public. They are in charge. Then Ripple's own regulatory reports and strategy positioning over the years supported this separation. XRP is meant to be a neutral base currency for moving value and cash around in real time, but stable coins backed by gold are meant to keep the value of money fixed and protected. These are two very different jobs in terms of how the new banking system is put together. We took a very close look at that for a long time before it was cool to do so. For a few years now, people have been taking our study, giving it high marks and passing it off as their own. That's why I'm talking about this in such a direct and angry way. Some of the people who are now repeating our results in a different way weren't here when we were getting ready for these talks. You and some of your team have changed the source without giving thanks to the original. You can use our words in the history to make your views look smarter than ours when you say that people shouldn't listen to people who don't know what they're talking about. Please explain more. We did the work for a long time before you showed up. All of this means that there is drama and tension between these directors. Let's finish this up I don't think we've ever talked about news stories or used what other people said. The things we look at are technical studies, rules and laws, and we always keep an eye on how things are changing in the public records. A lot of the insights we've seen are just recycled content from videos, threads, and breakdowns that we already made public and backed up with information and timestamps. We don't want credit, just to be clear. We just want you to do it right. In this sensitive area, people should expect a full and honest response if you use our names and then lie about what we've said or done. So here's an example of their situation showing all of their jobs and times over time. So David shared these 10 myths and false views about XRP that have been shown to be false. XRP is not connected to gold, silver, or anything else. There isn't really any reason why someone could try to set the price, but it would be counterproductive to ask them to do so. XRP also can't just become a safe coin. The stable coins that are built on XRP are not really XRP. For the XRP to work, it needs power. You can only have XRP on XRP. It's just an IOU if you don't pay. XRP has nothing to do with ISO 2022. Inside Ledger can be used without XRP. No amount of money in the world will be able to cross the XRP system. The US government will not buy your XRP back. Last but not least, Riplet is not at all like the XRP library. To go back to the argument, I think everyone's ideas change over time. Also, if your thoughts don't change, it means you hear the same person too often, right? Things need to be thought about, questioned, and rethought until you get to the heart of everything. Verson and I have talked more than once. This guy really is a gentleman, I have to say. He is very smart, informed, and bright. He can break down a lot of the scientific terms used in blockchains, the IMF, and the World Bank, so that people who don't know much about them can understand them better. Jake is broke, but he's also a very interesting, smart, bright, and well-connected guy. It looks like this is a simple case of wrong understanding. Aside from that, every artist wants to get ahead. Furthermore, I believe we will lose sight of our main goal if we begin to hit each other in the back and throw things at each other. We want to share something important with others. If Versailles or Jake's lives are anything like mine, I eat, breathe, and sleep XRP in the crypto space. And so do these experts. It's also good to know that your thoughts will change over time. Whenever they do, if you can explain why you've changed your mind, that would be great. You know, this, and this about growing as a person. And I love that so much. This small fight between these two groups should end soon, but everyone here seems to be interested in what's new and what's going to happen. Now, we know for sure that XRP is not in any way backed by gold, but it looks like stablecoins will be, and that could show up soon on the XRP record. It's all getting quite exciting. They linked all of this to a 3-minute movie to show you some other things. People who don't want to watch this show should leave. I hope this finds you well. I'm going to play this to give you some extra information. The World Bank said that the Ripple network and the Stellar network are at the heart of safe coins very much. We looked into the Bank for Foreign Settlement.